Hi humans, Puddin here. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, do not forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And if you've been following along, I just want to say thank you. You are the reason why I'm here and this channel exists. If you've been keeping up with my journey, you will see that I have documented some of my long distance hiking journeys from the Appalachian Trail to the Pinhoti to the Florida Trail to daily videos of the Continental Divide Trail. And as we are moving into 2025, I wanted to take a shift in my content, and I realized that I never have introduced myself or allowed you to get to know me on a personal level. So I am here creating this video to explain why I hiked 8,500 miles. So here we are. This is the most popular question that I get asked when people hear about my unique hiking journey. And to be honest, it is one that is the most difficult to answer because I'm sitting here, I'm like, I do not have a sentence. I'm still trying to process my journey and put into words, but I am here with you and we are going to do the best I can. So let's roll. So like I said, this question is the most challenging, I think, to answer because it's a lot more context. 8,500 miles was never the original goal. My journey actually started on the Appalachian Trail. And to have a little bit of a backstory, well, I could go into this, we could talk about this forever, but I am going to try to keep it short and simple. And if there's anything that you would like for me to expand on or to go into more detail, I would love to create another video. So just drop a comment and let me know. But I have struggled with mental health my entire life, depression and anxiety. And at the end of 2021, I was going through a season. Guys, I was grieving. I had said goodbye to my little dog, Milo. He almost made it to 17. He was my world. And saying goodbye and grieving, I just did not do well. I decided I needed a change in my life. And I actually walked away from my job at the time. I was managing a call center, and I actually walked away from a 5-year relationship. You know, grief comes in waves and everyone handles it differently, but I just felt like at this moment in my life, I just had no direction of where I wanted to go. I was really struggling mentally, and I hadn't been that bad in a really long time. And I said, I'm just gonna kind of go and try to find myself and just take a walk. So my walk started on April 5th, 2022 at Springer Mountain, where I began my journey of the Appalachian Trail. Those 6 months of hiking the Appalachian Trail was completely life-changing. I met the most incredible people. I experienced trail magic. I experienced how life works for us and how the trail provides. I found God. I found beauty in the hard things. I finally understood the definition of how the rainbow comes after the hardest storms, and to never give up on yourself, and how you have so much appreciation for the good days and the sunshine. And needless to say, it was the most life-changing, transformational experience I have ever experienced in my life. And I will forever say through hiking is a blessing and a curse, because you need to be ready to peel back those onions and those layers, and it is messy and it's not easy, and it can be lonely and it can be challenging, and it's going to pull up stuff within you that you may not be ready to digest or explore or deal with, and it's going to hit you head on whether you are ready or not, baby. The Mother Nature is one heck of a ride. After I experienced those 6 months, to be honest, I thought everything would be better when you get to Mount Katahdin, and I quickly realized that it's not. Mount Katahdin is just another mountain, and the mountains never end. And I did not want my journey to end. So I said, how can I extend it? So I took the extra miles up to the Canadian border, where at the time I thought I officially ended my journey. I had no passport, no way to officially take the ECT into Canada, so I just stopped at the border. From there, I went back and I visited Virginia, and then I visited family in Alabama, where I realized that I could connect the pieces and go all the way down. So I started my journey on the Pinhoti Trail in Alabama, and I took it up to Georgia and connected to the Benton McKay Trail, where I hiked 72 miles and connected my footpath back to Springer Mountain. Then from there, I went back to the Pinhoti and I walked south on the Alabama Road Walk, where I connected into the Florida Trail. Now, because of this connector, I did miss the first half of the Florida Trail, so I actually hitchhiked back to Pensacola, where the Florida Trail actually originally starts, and I walked south. When I got to Big Cypress, where the Florida Trail officially ends, I continued my journey on foot, where I connected the 200 miles to Key West, Florida. So I officially ended my journey from the Canadian border to Key West, Florida in 11 months, totaling 4,400 miles. So taking it to border was never the original plan. And if I could actually take it back, I would have actually had my passport and connected the entire ECT up into Canada. That is the only thing I probably would have done differently. But at the time, after only one backpacking experience before jumping on the Appalachian Trail, I wasn't even sure if I was going to make the AT, guys. So all this was kind of a split decision, adding each piece by piece. And as of the Florida Trail, that is a trail that I never considered like I would go hike. But after connecting all the pieces from Alabama to Maine, it was like one state left. It gave myself like a little goal, a little ambition. So it's like, okay, why not? Let's just do that. And then once I started hiking, it's like, okay, maybe I can do this under a year, which ended up hiking it in 11 months and something. But it was like the goal kept extending the longer I was out there. It was never like, hey, I'm gonna take this to border. It was just like, hey, I'm loving what I'm doing. This is great. Let's continue on. How can I keep going? So when I finished up at Key West, Florida, I had a friend that met me. We road tripped to Alabama, which was tons of fun. Then once I got back to Alabama, I decided I was going to go hike the Pinhoti Trail again. This is where I did a yo-yo. If you're not sure what a yo-yo means, it means that you walk it in both directions. So I walked the trail northbound, and then I took a day off, and then I walked the trail southbound. So I added some miles there. That was fun. Then from there, I actually had plans to hike the Arizona Trail, which led to a road trip to Arizona. But once I got to Arizona, the Grand Canyon, they had closed a portion due to a rock slide, and the trail was closed. And I think it would be different if I was already hiking the trail, but I didn't want to officially start something knowing I couldn't finish it. So I was like, we'll save the Arizona Trail for another day. So this fun road trip resulted in some backpacking miles in New Mexico, Texas, and Arizona. From there, I then flew from Alabama to Montana, where a friend took me to the Glacier National Park, where I officially started my journey of the Continental Divide Trail, which is the approximately 3,100 miles. It travels through 5 states, through Montana to New Mexico. So I had to do a little flip-flop through Glacier National Park with all the permit situation, but for the most part, I walked south. I started that journey July 2023, and I officially ended the CDT in December 2023, which is a year from this video. So I was approximately out hiking for 20 months and 8,500 miles before I decided to end my hiking journey. I decided to end my hiking journey at that point because I was cold and burned out, and obviously my body needed a lot of healing. So 2024 has been a lot of taken time to actually process this hike, which is really fun because now it's leading me to these videos and what I would like to do in the future. So if there's anything you would like to see or more information you would like to know more about, or anything gear wise or anything, please leave a comment, message me, let me know, and I would love to create that for you. So that's a little bit about what I've hiked. When it comes back to why I did it, it was for self-healing. It was for my mental health, because when you are so lost in life, it was like the only thing that I could do was walk. It showed me so many life lessons, and I learned so much about myself that I truly needed to learn and I needed to know. It was everything from the ability to slow down, to disconnecting, to just be present, to have gratitude. It showed me a lot of like my triggers, and no matter how far you walk, you cannot walk away from your mind. And when you take away all that distractions, you're actually confronted with what goes on in your mind, and it's up to you to how you control those thoughts, and you realize that you can make a change. You can be make a different outcome. Like, just because you grew up a certain way doesn't mean that you have to do that. Just because you were the black sheep doesn't mean that you're nothing. I went out there to find myself, but long story short, I quickly realized that I just never knew who I was to begin with. That I was this conditioned person that was adapted and formed in society. And then when you put me out there, it was like I just became more aligned, because I started to realize the beauty in the simple things. And honestly, it was like moving myself from the matrix, and it's a complete different lifestyle. So really, when someone asks why, it's really hard to explain. You meet the most incredible people. You learn things about yourself that you didn't even know. Like, you peel back layers that you didn't even know was there or existed. And it's just so much love for the basics and just appreciation for the small things. And what nature does to me mentally is just the most curing thing that I could ever even express or put into words. I feel like body movement and the ability to be outside is my biggest trigger for mental health. So the ability to be able to do something and continue on, makes you feel accomplished, makes you feel like you can do it. You can get through those challenges. You learn that the mountains never stop. You just learn how to navigate the valleys, how to adjust the sails, how to ride the wave. Take what life's given you, trust the signs, trust your intuition. You learn to believe in yourself, and that you see the guidance. When it's like in the everyday world, we're guided, but sometimes we miss it. And it's like out there, it's like clear as day, it feels like. So I have a hard time with these words, but pretty much why I did it: self-healing, mental health. Like, sometimes we can do things that we never knew we could do. We just have to have the ability to try. My entire hiking journey, I started solo, but I did meet people along the way. I did meet other hikers on trail. I did end my journey with another hiker. So it's really hard to say how many miles I officially hiked completely solo. I know on the CDT, I went at least 1,600 miles solo, but on the Appalachian Trail, it was so busy. I ran into hikers, or there were other people at camp. That's just a little bit about who I am and why I hiked 8,500 miles and what my miles consisted of. So let me know in the comments what you think and what you like to see. And I thank you for being here. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I can't wait to chat with you soon.